Psyonix have just brought a new standalone free-to-play Rocket League experience to iOS known as Sideswipe. It is available right now in beta, with a worldwide release coming later. Today we're going to have a bit of a look at what the game has on offer and look in depth at the game's performance on a range of iOS devices. Rocket League Sideswipe is one of the best mobile adaptations I've ever seen. Over the years, many developers have ported their existing 3D perspective PC or console games to mobile, and they often just don't translate well for a touchscreen. Psyonix have gone a different route and adapted Rocket League specifically for mobile devices from the ground up. This version uses a new side-scrolling perspective that allows players to see most areas of the maps on a smaller display. Some might be discouraged by this change and think that the game loses the charm of the original, but despite the perspective change, the tone of the game and the art style is actually very similar. You still have the amazing vehicle customization from decals, wheels, toppers, boosts, primary and secondary color sliders, goal explosions. You can invite your Epic Games friends to your party, and it's just as competitive with leaderboards, leveling up, higher ranks, in-game chats, and so on and so forth. Plus, the game has very simplified touch controls with 3 main on-screen buttons. You'll learn all about this during the game's excellent and quick opening tutorial that isn't forced upon you. You can quit it if you don't want to partake in it. The touch controls are excellent, or as good as they can be, but as always, a controller is your best friend on mobile. You can use a controller in matches for this game, and you'll find controlling your vehicle, colliding with the ball, and accessing the chat menu is much easier, or more accessible. In fact, you'll find you may be significantly better than other players who are using the touchscreen. I recommend Psyonix, if they haven't already done this, to add controller-only lobbies, so people don't have an advantage in matches. Keep note that controller support doesn't work for menu interaction right now, which is a little disappointing. I hope this can be added in the future. Sideswipe is in beta, so it doesn't feature everything that it's going to later on. Right now it has 3 maps or 3 modes. Duel for 1v1, doubles for 2v2, and hoops for 2v2. These are some of the most popular modes from the original game. Matches only last 2 minutes compared to around 5 minutes in the original game. But time still pauses after a player scores and until the match resumes. 2-minute matches were most likely implemented due to the fact that most mobile players are casual gamers. The beta version also has no ads or in-app purchases at this moment. Everything right now from the item shop and Rocket Pass must be unlocked by either leveling up or earning SP currency. Remember though that this is the pre-season and in-app purchases should be added later on. I mean, they will be. I really don't think that the game will be pay to win. However, as the original game isn't, and Psyonix are a very friendly dev when it comes to free to play. Now to performance. Unlike most mobile games, Rocket League Sideswipe allows you to enable an FPS display, which lets you use a frame rate counter during free play or any match type. The max FPS that you can enable here is 60. This is a shame for ProMotion or 120Hz devices, such as the iPhone 13 Pro or new iPad Pros. I would love to see 120 or maybe 80 to 90 as the max FPS in the future. Almost every new iPhone and iPad is able to easily play at high with an average FPS of 60, even a low-end device such as an iPhone SE 2nd Gen. Plus, there is also no major difference with having high quality grass on or off on the latest iPhone or iPads. You might just lose a few frames with it on. So you may as well just leave it switched on. Having custom graphic options is really great in this one, especially for older devices. Take my iPad Air 2 as an example. The default quality preset when you launch the game is low, but you can raise it up to high if you'd like, but the FPS won't always be 60. In this instance, you could either play it medium with the high quality grass switched off for a slightly better FPS, or play at low for 60 FPS on average. You'll come to find most devices, even old ones, can play this game at relatively high settings and can still get a decent enough frame rate if you spend time fine-tuning the graphical options available. The game has a better frame pacing than most games you'll see on the App Store. I know the game has a 2.5D perspective and isn't really that demanding to begin with, like the original game actually, but there are less visually impressive games on the App Store that get considerably worse performance than what we see here. So I'm impressed nonetheless. If you have an iPad mini 6th gen, the game's resolution is sadly not optimized for the display. You'll have tiny black bars on the side, like you see here. It's not the worst thing in the world, and some of you won't even notice it on your own mini device, but I find it weird that most new games still haven't fixed this small issue on mini, and are running based off the iPad mini 5 resolution. What do you think of Rocket League Sideswipe? What do you think of it compared to the original game? Will you download the game when it enters a worldwide release? Let me know in the comments. I love this game, I had so much fun, and I really hope Sideswipe can succeed on iOS, like it did on PC and console. I also hope that it can pave a new wave of how developers should translate some of their free-to-play games on mobile. Anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed this review and subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with everything Apple gaming related. My name's Stewie, and thanks for watching.